Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 71 of the Download Queue. We are coming at you early on in the Sunday. We are mere minutes after the 2025 Xbox Game Showcase, joined once again by Brian Saber to go over all the announcements, all the news, all the new stuff, and how badly we are at predictions. Because God, did we have some wild stuff. We had a couple. We'll get into it. First off, as mentioned, Brian, thank you again for joining us after a busy, hectic day already so far.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Always. It's good to have Kyle. You've been hanging out. You've been here.
I love the intro. I appreciate it.
We just spent the past 2 hours together.
Yeah. It's true. No, happy to be here. Happy to talk this showcase, of course.
Be a varying array of opinions. We're to get into it. It's been, as I said, a long day. We've all been streaming 2 hours. We got thoughts fresh off the showcase. Kyle, just spend time with you. Brian, though, you're joining us now, fresh off. What are your top level initial? How are you feeling after the past 2 hours?
Um, you know what? I'm gonna say this. Compared to the showcases and presentations that I've seen so far for Summer Game Fest, I will say right now Xbox is kind of taking the lead a little bit here. I do have some give and take with it a little bit. There's some stuff that I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see. But also I'm happy that we got to see so many new announcements from Xbox. Like, because I know last year it was a really big issue being like, okay, Xbox, what do you have? We haven't heard from you a lot. And then they started to deliver on us and we got to see what's down the pipeline. And so this year is kind of more the same with a lot of interesting announcements so far. And I know that we'll kind of deep dive into it a little bit more as we go. But I just kind of want to say off the bat, I'm kind of surprised we didn't see like anything from Fable, anything from Perfect Dark, anything like other than Sea of Thieves related from Rare, especially when it's their 40th anniversary this year.
Yeah, that's not even just that. I mean, State of Decay 3, Contraband still gone, Replaced still gone. Like, there's a list of just where are they?
And I know Phil Spencer said that, like, oh, don't worry, these games are still here. We'll talk about them later. It's like, well, why couldn't you talk about them now? We've been waiting for some of these games for a while, but I can understand they wanted to show off a lot of more of this new stuff, which does look really cool. I'll give him that.
Kyle, how you feeling?
Yeah, I like how, Brian, you said it's more of the same for Xbox. And yeah, I think we know what to expect from these things. We know what's in the pipeline. So this was a lot of more of the same, plus the surprise from third parties and the surprise, Grounded 2 being a surprise announcement as well. But nothing crazy big, nothing that's going to blow your socks off. Call of Duty Black Ops 7, that reveal almost was, and then it was like, oh, it's just a Call of Duty, which is unfortunate, but I think that's still the sentiment of Call of Duty. Based off of Black Ops 6 campaign and this being, it's going to be a sequel to that narrative set up in 2 and 6. That could be really cool, especially with what they're doing with this weird mind stuff. So like they could get to a point where Call of Duty isn't just, oh, it's just another Call of Duty. But yeah, we're not there yet. I'm hopeful, but yeah, it did kind of make the showcase fall flat at the end because it was like, what is it? Is this? I was like, is this Splinter Cell? Is this it? Like, we got a new tech thing in the world. Like, what's happening? I was like, oh. And that's unfortunate. I don't knock it. I'm still excited for this campaign and for Black Ops 7, but it did paint the whole picture that they are waiting for next year. Phil said it, 25th anniversary of Xbox is next year. Well, you will play Fable, a Forza, a Gears, E-Day. They're waiting for next year. So this was totally a great, solid showcase. Might have hyped it up a little too much based off the past and the lack of stuff at SGF, which should have been a sign like, hey, this might be just a great, solid year. Nothing blow your socks off.
Yeah. I was a little surprised because before they announced it was Black Ops 7, I thought it was going to be Ninja Theory's next IP because we know they're making it. They announced it a long time. They announced that they are making a second new IP a long time ago. And it kind of felt like that, kind of like the weird psychological, like like kind of like modern-esque thing that they're trying to go for, and then it's Black Ops. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Jacob was like, "Is this the Kojima game?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So, but man, if I thought Ninja Theory, I would have got hyped too, because yeah, that weird melding of the mind. Like, what? So, and it's cool for Call of Duty to explore that, but we're not there for the fruits of those labors to be seen. So we're like, all right. So hopefully, hey, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I wish I would have remembered what you said, Kyle. When that ended, I think it was towards the end of the Call of Duty presentation. You made a comment of Call of Duty ending this show shows the state of where Xbox is or where they see themselves going forward, which I think perfectly encapsulates this and where they're at. I mean, it's not any other year. Hey, here's a next big exclusive that's we're having first party, whatever. But now it's we want to make the most money, and how we're going to do that with Call of Duty, which is the changing of the times. It is. We talked about it before. This was the full Band-Aid is off. This is the direction we're going. This is where we're at with IPs. This is where we're at with our releases, where they're going, how we're presenting them, just across the board like that. This was it for a lot of people, and it's how do they continue that message forward from here on out of with the handheld, with Game Pass, with Play Anywhere, how to keep incentivizing that side of things.
And I was just thinking about this. Like, does it seem a little weird that they revealed their new their new partnership with Aces and their own ROG Ally handheld a little too early? Because it was like within like the first quarter of the whole presentation that they just like revealed their handheld. I feel like it maybe would have been better to have that announcement be towards the end, because we know everybody was speculating, is the handheld going to appear? Are they going to show off their like Xbox dedicated handheld? And as cool as it was to see in the moment, maybe it could have been a better tail end to the show than having it be just like Call of Duty.
Yeah, it was the fourth thing announced at the show, so very early on. And yeah, I would have loved this being the one more thing at the end, more so than the Call of Duty reveal. It's like, hey, we have all these things, third party, first party, all these partnerships, whatever. Plus, here's the new way to experience them, sort of thing. Like that would have hit a lot harder, I feel. But that's also kind of like old E3 style things where they've done that numerous times of, hey, here's Project Scorpio, here's where we're going next type thing. And it leaves on kind of a question, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I disagree with that. I think ending on the handheld made by a third-party sponsor wouldn't have done much. I think getting it out of the way first and foremost to show this is what we're building, right? This is what we're going to be doing with our platform going forward. Here's a handheld made by our partner. Here it is, right? And they're not talking about anything else. Their own stuff. We already know they're working on something, but they just moved on from it. And they said, this is our platform. It's going to be Play Anywhere. Everything we show will be played on this device. Like, so they're marketing their device. And then from this point on, now we know everything we see will be that. So I get it for how they shape the show overall from beginning to end. I just think, yeah, it being Call of Duty, people still just have a negative reaction to it. But I think if it was flipped, man, there could have been a different game placed there instead of Call of Duty. But when you look at this list that Xbox posted, man, Call of Duty is the biggest thing, with Outer Worlds 2 getting the direct right after. So I don't know. When Phil said it's the 25th anniversary and you were getting Fable, Force of Gears, and a surprise classic that's been here from the beginning, I was like, oh, they're waiting. That's just what it is. And do we need to? I don't know. I'm okay with it. We've been eating good, and there's still going to be.
Oh yeah.
Like October's crazy, and there's still third-party stuff. So while there's lacking, I don't see an issue with where the handheld was announced or anything like that. It makes sense since it's third party to me there.
I see that. I see that. That's a fair point. But I will say how cool it was to see like off the jump. Like we didn't get specs, we didn't get like a price range or like that's like still far out, but we did get to see that not only will be able to play Game Pass, not only will it be able to do Steam, but BattleNet, Ubisoft Plus, and there was one more that I didn't catch because I was like
Steam.
jotting down. Oh, did I not say Steam?
They had maybe you did, maybe you did.
I know
I'm not sure.
there's one.
There was a
one more
Discord tab as
service.
well.
Yes,
Because they were like, basically, it looks like it's just like running that app, and then it just like plops over. It kind of emulates it, kind
It's
of.
definitely going to run like a Windows
Yeah,
OS.
yeah. I'm kind of thinking like I have iPhone stuff, so kind of like when you light it up and you can switch open to another app. That's kind of what I'm thinking that system is. It just suspends different things. I'm not sure how Windows does that.
But we definitely know that we're getting 2 SKUs because I remember it was the ROG Ally X and the ROG Xbox Ally X, and then there's the ROG Xbox Ally.
So that here I have it pulled up. They did kind of in the image. The ROG Xbox Ally X is an AMD Ryzen Z2 Extreme with 24 gigabytes of memory and 1 terabyte of storage. That's the black one. And the white one that was on the bottom, the ROG Xbox Ally, AMD Ryzen Z2A with only 16 gigabytes of memory and only 512 gigabytes of storage. Nothing on price and nothing else on the release, but that was in the trailer they showed real fast on.
Yeah,
So
it's just a lesser cores. So
it's going off the same vein of how they've been trying to like make different SKUs for different markets, kind of like how there's a Series X and the Series S. They're still doing that for handhelds. I am curious though if there's going to be the possibility for expansion of memory or expansion of storage, I should say.
yeah, it would be interesting if there's a slot that you can upgrade or anything. I haven't seen anything like that. It does have storage 512 gigabyte M2 SSD for easier upgrade. So in their specs, they are highlighting easier upgrade. So I'd imagine, where's my one that I just have floating around?
I was like, because you said you could just swap it out when it was going on.
Oh no, this is I don't think it's the NVMe drive, but yeah, like this is the one I had for my PS5. Like it's small. You could totally. That ROG Ally was this. Even you could totally get that to fit in there. So that's awesome that they will let you upgrade it. It seems
cool.
Yeah. Native as well. Native downloads on this, which was rumors stuff kind of bouncing around if that actually was going to be or not. So good to see for me personally. Again, if this was cloud, I'm out. Sure. The native alone is enough to keep my interest still. And yeah, holiday 2025. I'll be curious to see where this lands, how the economy is by then, if that affects price, and how.
Wait, are they really trying to launch this in this year?
Yeah,
it's this holiday.
Holiday 2025 at the bottom.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's gonna be the question. It all depends on the price point for both SKUs, really.
Kyle Ode.
Yeah, I'm looking at the specs that they released. The Ally X, the beefier one, it also comes with impulse triggers for enhanced control. The other one doesn't. So like the triggers are different. So there's some hardware issues, mostly CPU stuff, and then there's there's an extra card reader, something in the X, but I'm confused on what that is.
Interesting. Okay.
Good to see it.
I mean, that's cool.
The Ally X does not have a USB-C. Oh, regular USB 3. The ROG Ally X has a USB 3 port. So those are the things. So yeah, this is like super specific.
What do you need that for on the handheld though? Like controller, keyboard?
Awesome. I mean, keyboard, peripherals.
Keyboard.
The Ally X would be
maybe.
So the Ally X is powerful enough to maybe run like a Discord and stuff, so you can voice cam on it, but the ROG Ally just doesn't have that port. It's interesting, yeah. No, I mean, it's like the Windows Surface laptop model that Windows does, and already they're just letting the Xbox OS be that now. So excited to see where this goes overall. Still want an Xbox made one, but if they're going to support it fully and get into it, I could be down with them just letting other people do it. They stepped out of VR, they stood to the side, and look where that's at. Maybe they're like, we'll wait and see, but we'll let someone make our thing for us. We don't want to go all in yet. We'll see.
Personally, I don't think they do anymore. That sideline thing they said where I think that's just them fully stepping out of it. I think they've seen enough with their try with Connect, trying to get in that, and Smart Glass when they tried doing
I think that
that.
was a success.
Well, I'm still using mine, but in general, with the way they're going, I don't think they take as many chances on hardware side of things anymore. Even with the next base console, we talked about, I think when Brian was here last time, where we could see it being just a third branded Xbox TV box and not made by them anymore. Take that full risk out of it, focus on the studios, focus on the software, focus on your platform as they have been. And if people want to invest in that side of it, it's an option, but they're not taking the hit on it anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I don't think we're that close, but it's not likely. They're making the moves, and it's like that's an option. I think they have options, right? What's going to happen? We'll see. Where are we going? Shifty.
Yeah.
Let's talk games.
Talk games. What games? Where do you want to start? Kick us off. What tickles your fancy, Kyle? Grounded 2?
I want to talk about Clockwork Revolution. I think outside of sorry, I moved around. That's probably one of the Grounded 2 and Clockwork were the two big games for me. I loved what they showed for Clockwork. I love that it was an extensive story trailer and it showed off some of the mechanics and stuff they're going to be doing within it. Sold on the game. Bummed we didn't get any date. But the way it ended with them being cheeky about it now, all right, give us time, go away now. Like, that's all you get. I'm like, all right, you win. We'll see you next year. That's fine. So it looks awesome. It looks, yeah, the elements of the time stuff, whatever that's going to fully be gameplay wise, that's really cool. So they earn the take your time for me. So no rush to see that any sooner. Just when it's ready, I'll be happy.
Hear me out. The in due time thing they did leads into next year, Developer Direct. They give us the 4 titles, with Fable being the big one to kind of be the main centerpiece. But then, as they always do, they do that like pencil in one more thing, and it's Clockwork as the surprise thing. That's also a 2026 release date.
I think, yeah, no, Clockwork is a very good game to just be there. I don't even think they need to be a surprise. That is in due time, right? Like, we all know Developer Direct's happening, even though they didn't announce it. So, in due time, we'll see it. So, I would love it to be, there and then come out next year. Ooh, game looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy it's not as Bioshocky. I said that when we were watching in the reactions, because that was with the initial reveal. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's just a copy paste of Bioshock Infinite type thing," and this completely like they set themselves apart as their own thing. They differentiated enough. Like, this is a world I'm excited to get into. Excited for the RPG aspects. I said before, I'm just excited to see inXile do something in this perspective out of their top-down stuff like that. Just a new world for them to explore, and I'm all in.
Yeah, on the Xbox Wire, they write out just like the last sentence from them. They exclusive interview where they talk about what makes the game tick, from reactive storytelling to weapon crafting, which is the two things in the trailer. I was like, whatever's going on from the storytelling and the reactivity that they're saying you can do, like, that's really cool. I want to be able to, I am going to go back in time and I am going to do this thing to this person because I know it's going to do this thing in the future. Then I want to go back to the future and then be like, oh, it did that thing, but different. Like, butterfly effect. Like, that is so cool if they can hit that. And yeah, sounds like they are. The weapon crafting, I called it out like on stream, the blueprint thing. And then it like morphs into like being a real physical item. Like, just the style of this. There's something special kind of here. I'm hoping this comes through.
Yeah, the styling is really on point. Just like toward, it's nice because, like you're saying, Jocko, that it's not just like another like Bioshock like Infinite like copy paste. Like, it has its own personality with like the art style, the gunplay, the just overall just like I felt very charmed by the humor that was in that trailer for sure. and it's just it looks like it's gonna be a fun time. I do hope that whenever they show this game again, how they go into the whole like changing the future kind of aspect, because it does seem really interesting. I'm just hoping that it's a lot more in depth than, oh, you just did this like one little thing and then like everything changes. Like I feel like I want it to be a little bit more grand in a scale where it's like, okay, you go back in time, you do this mission, or like you do this like side quest, and then it will like alter things. But if you do like multiple different ones, it can be like a branching tree of like different things. I'm hoping it's kind of like that. But yeah, overall, it looks like a really, really cool game, and I'm kind of ready to get back into that kind of style of game, because I feel like, at least for me, it's been a while since I've kind of dove into like the first person shooter kind of, but like with a weird like story element to it, like in the vein of like a BioShock. So it would be very interesting to see. I would like to just give a shout out real quick, unless if anybody had anything else to say about Clockwork.
Go ahead.
The fact that we're actually getting Indiana Jones DLC, and it's coming out in September, I thought was really, really interesting. Like I thought like it was just going to be the game and done. Like there was not going to be anything else. Indiana Jones, like they're probably already off doing like whatever game that they're going to be working on next. But the fact that they want to invest more time into Indiana Jones, like yeah, it was a successful enough game, but I don't know, when it came out, I felt like Indiana Jones, like, oh yeah, like it was successful for what it was, and people either liked it or didn't, and it just kind of, the conversation just kind of left it pretty quickly. So the fact that they wanted to invest more time into Indiana Jones, I thought was pretty cool.
I will say they did. This has been confirmed already, so we knew they were doing DLC. Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah. So when you were able to do the pre-order on Game Pass, just like with Starfield, you do the upgrade for Game Pass, then you get whatever the DLC is. We didn't know anything about it. We did know it was called the Order of the Giants, but
oh, cool.
Yeah, I still think it is.
I was not in the know, so it's plus for me.
Yeah, and I think it's still cool. Like I hope. I think it did do well enough, and I think people like it. So I hope this hits and such. We'll see.
I think it's a good test, though, right? Like you said, it was kind of came out, had a lot of eyes on it, flash in the pan sort of thing. Came out on PlayStation 5 later, news for a week or so. But now having the DLC going back, it's not something that Xbox really has done with their single player stuff a whole lot so far. You think of Gears, Redfall obviously didn't get anything. Avowed, as of now, doesn't have any single player DLC. Like, this is kind of the testing thing I feel for them of, is it an idea you chase further on? Is Clockwork going to get a single player DLC? Is South of Midnight going to get something? I think they're kind of using as that, how far can we go with this before just evolving it into like a new project sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if they said or not, but I'm assuming it's also coming to PS5 at launch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it should be on every platform day of at launch, which is good. It's a DLC, which is awesome. Once it's out everywhere, let every player play it. But yeah, and it seems like I think this is a bigger conversation, so I don't want to get stuck here. But I think Microsoft is letting companies like Bethesda and Blizzard, Activision, like they are able to do things how they want, because like their pre-order stuff has been consistent with Starfield and Indiana Jones and what they've been doing. But with Xbox games, like you mentioned, South of Midnight, they haven't said anything about DLC, whereas Bethesda straight up was up front. So I think we are seeing the difference in the companies within Microsoft and how they do stuff, which I find fascinating and I love to see. But I don't think this is saying this is how Xbox is doing it. I think this just shows this is a way Xbox can do it, because they have someone doing it within their company, right?
Mm-hmm. Just like which developers under the umbrella have like enough sway, enough pull to like be like, no, we believe in this. We're gonna keep updating this and keep bringing out content as long as it deems
Yeah.
necessary.
And they're like, no, this is what we see for our thing, and this is how we want to do it. And Microsoft Gaming saying, yeah, go do it. We'll see if it's successful and what happens if it's not and stuff. But so far, I mean, to me, between the lines, reading between it all, they're letting developers do what they want, how they want it. And I think that's the sign of some healthy stuff.
I want to take it here real quick. Not a lot to say on it because we don't know too much, but one of my favorite surprises from the whole show that I'm so incredibly curious on is there are no ghosts at the Grand. Still not entirely sure
Yeah.
what this is. I have an interview pulled up that they did. It is a debut game from Friday Sunday as a studio. First person narrative driven game with a unique blend of genres. Where your main character has 30 days and 30 nights to complete a job of restructuring the hotel and the village around it. Also turns into a musical at one point. Renovation RPG, story-driven emotional game. I don't. They just threw every sort of genre at the wall and what could stick, and it works. It was charming. It had color. I was vibrant. Like what they showed got our attention immediately. Of what is this? I want to know more. And it's the weird, surprising stuff that there would have been no leaks about this. There would have been nothing going in. Just, hey, here's again our passion thing we've been kind of doing. I'm in. I want to know more. I want to play it. Day one Game Pass. I'm there.
It reminds me of South of Midnight. You know, it's a game that they're like, whoa, what is this? And you just like, I want to play this. I want to see more of this world, this style. Like, I'm hoping it can get near there at the very least. But that premise of you have 30 days and 30 nights to restore the building in town, I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. So
Yeah.
I can't wait.
And also, who doesn't love some good reggae jams?
Right.
All the music, yeah. That's another, yeah.
And it's also the cat in the trailer. Official name, Mr. Bones the Bastard. So, hey,
Ah,
Hell yeah.
love it.
love it. But
Oh yeah, they say decorator by day, ghost hunter by night in a cozy, spooky musical mystery. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm gonna be a Ghostbuster at night.
which is like I
And I
think
can-
that's the thing that kind of got it because at first I was like, oh, this is gonna be a simulator type thing. I was like, oh, it's a simulator with a story, maybe. But then it got more and more, and then the music, and then building stuff, and like it just kept evolving on what the premise was through the trailer. It's like, yeah, I'm down.
it's speaking to me in like the same vein that like Moonlighter did, where it's like, oh, you're a shopkeep during the day, and then you're a dungeon crawler at night trying to get more loot for your stuff. It's kind of like in the same, like you have a dual like job.
Yeah.
Except
That's
this
kind
one
of,
is
it sounds like Cult of the Lamb too, where you're managing your cult village in the day, and then you go out and dungeon things at night. So yeah, that's probably what that flow will be for them, huh? That's cool.
yeah, I'm down. I just wanted to shout out this game we saw. The fact that Game Freak is doing a non-Pokemon game. I made a joke during our stream where this is like the one game Game Freak gets to do other than Pokemon each decade. Like I think the last game they did was that one 3DS game a little while, like a few years ago.
They had another
I-
one come out on Xbox that I brought up during the show.
That was like the elephant.
Tembo the Badass Elephant. Yeah.
Tembo the Badass Elephant. Yes. The Beast of Reincarnation. And interest like something I wasn't expecting from Game Freak. It's a kind of like action hack and slash, maybe a little bit of like a Dark Soulsy like combat game with like mystical Japanese mythology influence maybe a little bit in there. Caught me off guard completely. I was not expecting to see Game Freak involved at all, but I guess their relationship with Xbox going back to Timbo seemed to work out good enough that Xbox wanted in their game, and here we are.
Like time to dust off our non-Pokemon file. Okay, contact Microsoft. It's the only other company that can do non-Pokemon, right?
Like
That's cool. I mean,
oh, go ahead.
break glass for a minute.
Oh, break glass and when people get really mad at us for Pokemon. It's like, here you go. We can make games. I swear we can't do it.
It's like, Beast of Reincarnation. We've had this for a while. That's great. Yeah, well, I'll see more. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see more. And, I know, Jacob, you're like, this is going to run like crap on Xbox. So, as a joke. So, like, and then that's the thing that follows the company, right? So, hopefully, Xbox can help and get a stable thing since we're seeing more collaboration and such within Xbox. Hopefully, their teams could help make sure, like, a Game Freak game new that isn't a Pokemon comes out and, like, at least runs well. It's like, yeah, I'm hopeful for that given the attachment to Microsoft, but who knows?
Their official overview: in post-apocalyptic Japan, a land ruined by corruption and crawling with monstrous beasts, humanity's last hope may rest with Emma, an outcast cursed as a blighted one, and Ku, her loyal canine companion. Survive a journey across an ominous, ever-changing world where dangerous forests can erupt in the wasteland. As Emma and Ku push deeper into the unknown, their bond strengthens, and with it, strange powers bloom. Explore what it means to be a human in Beast of Reincarnation, an expansive one-person, one-dog action RPG built around demanding technical combat. So yeah, Souls.
One man, one dog, one person, one dog.
It's giving me Princess Mononoke mixed with Horizon Zero Dawn.
Ooh, I like that.
Like you get the like robotic type of like enemies / like just beings, and then you have like the weird like mutant like naturalistic kind of like threat, like a little bit of demon magic too.
A good call out.
One here that actually got Kyle a point on predictions. Brian, how you feeling about Final Fantasy finally here? Too little, too late?
Dude, the fact that Xbox players now get to experience Final Fantasy 16 today, I'm good. Better late than never. I would say. So is it a head scratcher why it took this long? Yes, but the fact that we're finally getting it, I'm cool. It's here.
Oh, you don't have to scratch your head. I'll tell you why. It's called PlayStation. I think Square Enix has been very open about like, yeah, we shouldn't have signed that and put it only on one platform. Oopsie. But anyway, yeah, it's a silly thing. But I'm happy it's here. I played through that. Final Fantasy 16 was my first Final Fantasy, and what a game! I loved it. I'm planning on playing Final Fantasy 7. I wish that one was the surprise because it's a remake, whatever. But I do think it would overshadow 16 given what it is. So I understand, like, right now you could play Final Fantasy 16, get it now, and as you're waiting for the remake coming out later this winter, pick this up. Pick this new one up, please. So I get how that ends up being the one, but go play it. It's a fun game. Definitely took me, I try to do all the side content, and Final Fantasy side content is something else. It just keeps going.
What sold me for 16 is the fact that the director for Devil May Cry went on their live stream and aced like one of the hardest bosses like on their live stream, and it was just like
Nice.
And like did all of like the cool action stuff that like you would expect from like an action, like what a Final Fantasy like action game would be like, and that this sold me. So the fact that Xbox players get to play it. The one question I do have though is, since Remake is coming out in the winter, when can we expect Rebirth to be on Xbox?
That was my thought, and I hope I could see it being like a showcase thing next year, but I hope it's not like just at that point, just hey, here it is sort of thing. I would assume almost two remakes coming to Switch 2. Are they just going to do the Switch 2 Xbox versions for Rebirth at the same time next year or the year after, instead of kind of staggering them again? But
Just have Rebirth be like a shadow drop.
yeah.
Like you play Remake, here you go. Rebirth.
It came out in 2024. So it's already been over a year. We assume those release things are a year. So yeah, it could just be whenever they want. I'd imagine though it possibly would, this winter Final Fantasy VII remake, and then Rebirth the next winter. So you get a year and a year to play because those games are big.
Yeah, and I'm assuming like the team that's localizing it to Xbox is probably a lot smaller since they're working on the third part to 7.
Yeah, I'd imagine your end goal probably would just be getting it out before the 3.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well, would that mean the third is multi-plat? Because if that's the goal and they're going multi-plat for the third, then yeah, Rebirth has to come out before then, and they might rush to get that. And we might that totally a next showcase that would make sense timeline wise. But yeah, that's my question: is if that third one's going to be locked down or not? Excited! I can't wait to play it. I'll play 7 this winter.
See, I'm happy I went back and did it on PS4. I did it before, like right before I got my PS5. Because at this point, personally, I don't know if I already see myself returning to it 5 years later. Or starting it. Just with the amount of like new and wanting to be a part of the new stuff, this would have been a complete skip for me at this point, personally.
I mean, that's fair. It's kind of hard for a game that big, especially. It's hard for a lot of people to just go back and play it again, like regardless of like, oh, it's on a new experience because it's a different console. It's like, yeah, but still the same game. But it's cool that now people that don't invest into all the hardware for video games can now finally experience Final Fantasy.
Yeah, and it's good for the studio. Like they've said, they've had money like issues with their sales, and like they've been disappointed. So it's good for them because with all these layoffs and shit, and it's like don't lock down work when it doesn't have to be. You know, it's good for the developers. So.
Another one I want to shout out that, in the grand scheme of things, is weird and kind of adds another question to Xbox's strategy going forward. Keeper from Double Fine, which was the big studio I wanted to see. I'm happy. I said too, I was like, this needed to be something completely different from what Psychonauts was. Out October 17th, so cool release or announced release a couple months later. But the only Xbox first party thing that is an Xbox exclusive still. This was one of the ones that is not PS5 announced, no Switch announced. It is just an Xbox thing, so.
But this is an Xbox game studio. Bethesda and Activision
is an
stuff.
Xbox game studio.
But that's an old game. So far, every new Xbox game studio game has only been on Xbox. South of Midnight is only on Xbox. And now we see this one only on Xbox. Clockwork Revolution doesn't say much, but it's only on Xbox. So the Xbox game studios so far have only been on Xbox day of, and it doesn't seem like that might be changing.
Yeah, God. I wish something would have happened to put a needle in that for you, because it is still true, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, do they need? And then eventually it will come to you. But how many people were like, Starfield's coming? Look at that.
Yeah, that's another conversation. Starfield, Halo, all those rumors still nowhere to be seen for third-party stuff.
I'm wondering if the Halo thing will be next year.
But still, that's an old thing. If it is the Halo CE remake in Unreal Engine 5, if that is the thing they're going with, and it is, hey, it's on PS5, it's still an old thing, but. So what would be Fable would be the next like Xbox Game Studios direct underneath type thing that would be if that's on PS5, but that's a year out to see, I guess.
That and Year's E Day, that would be a sign whether or not that comes out on PlayStation Day of.
Yeah.
Okay. When you go on Xbox Wire, they split it up by their partners. So world premieres and new games from your partners. That's the end of the article, the back third or whatever it is. But then above that is all their stuff. So you have the Tony Hawk demo out today. which is everywhere. So I guess, but that's an
A
Activision
whole
game.
thing, an Activision thing.
And Activision. Outer Worlds 2 is everywhere. That from the beginning, Outer Worlds 1 was everywhere. So they're not taking that away from what it has been on from the beginning. And I think that's a fine thing to follow. Ninja Gaiden 4, that's
Everywhere. Yeah.
everywhere, and that's a different thing. Keeper, a brand new IP, Xbox Studio, only on Xbox stuff. Grounded 2, everywhere in early access. Hell yeah, that's the type of game. Oh, no, I lied.
It's just
Grounded 2 is
Xbox,
only
PC,
on Xbox early access and Steam early access. Which makes sense for that type of game being on Steam early access and what they're doing. Gears is everywhere, old game. Clockwork, it just says Xbox.
God, it's so interesting.
Call of Duty everywhere, makes sense. So yeah, their new IP for Xbox is only on their platform when it first comes out. The big thing for me now, Fable and Gears E-Day, will those stick to this cadence of their studios being only day one and then later we don't even know if these new IPs will eventually come. They haven't happened yet. We're just getting the old stuff, the stuff that we're moving on from anyways.
I wouldn't be surprised if Gears of War Reloaded is the barometer for whether or not E-Day comes to PlayStation Day of. Like, how successful does Gears Reloaded do on PlayStation to warrant having E-Day be put on PlayStation?
Yeah, that's a good call. That to either do it right away or wait. Yeah, because if it sells a bunch, why do you wait on E-Day going day one? It's Game Pass, whatever. People are going to play it there too. But if you're going to have a player base on a platform, then they're going to buy it. If you can get it, yeah, that's a good call out that this might be that barometer. Yeah.
Also, shout
I
out
guess
to Reloaded. Sorry to interrupt, but like, just shout out to Reloaded for like being what it should be. You know, cross play, cross progression. Everything that you would possibly want. There's it even says here that beginning June 13th, there's going to be a 2-weekend multiplayer beta for Reloaded.
Yeah.
So
across all platforms.
Across all platforms. That's really good. So yeah, I guess this could really be the make or break whether or not Gears becomes a multi-platform title. Because I don't remember how good. I don't even remember which the last Gears game was. A Gears 5. Like how good that did. I don't know.
So for reference, I
didn't-
just pulled it up to
okay.
look fast. Gears of War Reloaded is barely in the top 100 for pre-orders on PSN. It's at like 89, 88. Again, it's been a while since it's been live for pre-orders, but it's barely in the top 100 right now.
It'd be interesting to see if that increases after the multiplayer beta.
Yeah.
Whether or not people latch on to the gameplay or not. This is just a weird era for Xbox in general because we have no idea what their launch strategy is for anything. It's always a give or take depending on the franchise.
Messaging
Well,
again
see-
for the third year.
But I don't think it is. I just think
We shouldn't have to
I just
dig
think they're
in
not
like string theory, Always Sunny style to like figure this
I
out.
guess, yeah, they have the only thing they haven't done is labeled which games are going to be everywhere and which aren't. You do have to look, but when you do, it's black and white to me. Xbox Game Studios new stuff is on Xbox only. If it's been somewhere else, we don't care because we bought shit. We understand that, but we're not going to rip it off of a platform it was already on. But then all the stuff we bought, you do what you want. But you put it wherever the Starfield thing is interesting. It definitely is interesting because that feels like a Xbox. No, this is a marketing deal, especially previously when they first, announced it and talked about it. So I don't know about that one, but I don't know. I just think it is pretty straightforward and pretty clear what they're doing. It's just not in the typical way, and it's not as walls up as in the past. It's just more, hey, where are you playing? Let me see. Oh, it's on PlayStation 5. I play there. I can play this game. Oh, it's not there. That's okay. I can't play it. Oh, I play. Yeah, cool. It's just where are you playing? Where can you access these games? Is it somewhere you can? There you go. Like they're just throwing a net out with this, saying where are we grabbing people and where are they latching on? Because there's different avenues to get in. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't I can get the messaging complaint to a degree, but I also feel like at this point, a year plus or like 2-ish years into the strategy that they've been building towards, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of obvious, and I feel like we're just stuck in the same stuff where it's actually not. It's more nuanced than what we get stuck talking about. We in the general, not specifically us.
Royal we.
Yes.
It's weird that Starfield's still kind of the one. Because when Phil made that comment, like the first 4 or whatever, and then he was like, it wouldn't be Starfield, wouldn't be Hellblade. Was Indiana Jones a part of that? I forget. Like out of those ones, Starfield's like the one that's still hanging on, which you think would be the biggest moneymaker out of those to be the one to go out over Hellblade. Starfield's got more appeal than Hellblade. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Starfield has appeal. I love Starfield. I'm playing it all the time. People give shit all the time for Starfield.
Yeah.
What do you mean it has appeal that people would buy
New
it?
Bethesda
They're gonna
RPG,
buy-
and they're like, oh yeah, and then they're gonna shit on it
1 or
online
2
afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. They buy it. You'll get the people who buy it who like this sucks, and then they get into it and they're like, oh, things. But I because of the negativity surrounding it, I think it could do more harm to say, hey, we're moving this to PlayStation, and then the PlayStation crowd say, yeah, this game sucks and it's empty. Yeah. So I could see them waiting. Also, no Starfield news. That could be because they're working on the port plus the final update to here's the definitive edition out everywhere on Switch 2, on a PlayStation, everywhere. And that's later, but we got nothing from them on that.
Which is another thing too, I guess, to kind of bring it up fast. Like we talked about updates this show. Starfield DLC's not there. They did their usual thing for Elder Scrolls Online in 76, but like the usual Overwatch thing wasn't here. There was nothing for WoW, which they have a trailer for most like yearly now. So it's still
Did WoW finish their like trilogy thing, or are we still in the midst
we're
of
still
that?
in part 1 still.
Okay, so they
Midnight
probably will
should
have a
be
thing
next year,
later
yeah.
on.
Is
Okay.
BlizzCon happening this year?
Let me check because
I'm
it
looking
skipped
up
last
right
year.
now.
Oh,
Yeah, they skipped.
that's true. They could be
No,
building up for
2025
something.
isn't happening, but it will return in
Okay.
2026.
2026. Okay.
Okay. Look, the acquisition finally goes through and all that. Not finally, but I could see why Blizzard might be quiet for now, especially post Diablo 4 release, and they're still doing their seasons.
I think right now, like at least for like Overwatch, right now they're like in like a decent place. People are starting to like Overwatch 2 again. They're having fun time with the stadium mode and like the
Yeah.
different changes they come, and also just like they're silently watching the Marvel Rivals community eat each other alive at this moment. So I think not having Overwatch here is fine. But like not having anything Blizzard related is kind of interesting.
Yeah, not even any
Or, like,
Diablo
anything.
thing.
But I do think like at least for like the Starfield conversation, it's probably best that they didn't talk about anything, at least putting it towards like PlayStation or anything like that, just because I feel like Outer Worlds 2 is going to take up a lot of that like space as far as like the genre of kind of game. Like it's a Obsidian kind of game. Like you're expecting people to want to latch on to that instead. And if you try to pull out Starfield and Outer Worlds 2 close together, it kind of like Outer Worlds 2 is going to eat Starfield alive.
And then people will just sit and compare the whole time.
Yeah, unfortunately. But who knows? Like saying they've been very silent. They could be ramping up for next year. Either like a surprise, reveal. It's like, hey, PlayStation players, let's go to space. Have fun.
The PlayStation showcase.
I want to just like say real quick how excited I am. Once we're done here, I'm gonna go download the Tony Hawk 3+4 demo that is out right now, because this game looks like it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun. and we're getting Ninja Turtles content. We're gonna get Michelangelo as like
Yes.
the game's special character, which I was a little worried because we had the Doom crossover for like deal for
Pre-order.
pre-order. Thank you. And it's cool that they're able to get Bam Margera in as well as like a later kind of thing. But like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is like one of their charms is that every game had that special like secret crossover character, whether it was like Spider-Man or Darth Maul or stuff like that. So it's cool that that tradition is still being kept with 3+4 and having, I think, one of the most like no-brainer crossovers of having the Ninja Turtles and especially Michelangelo being involved in it. It is kind of weird that they're using their modern, like very cartoonish looking style, which I don't mind it because I kind of like that, at least that era of Ninja Turtles. But either way, it's still really cool that
You'd have to imagine that's grabbing the kids, right?
youth.
They're like this
Oh,
old remake
100%.
of a skateboarding game. Like, whoa, my Ninja Turtle guy. So it definitely is trying to get that
And
younger audience.
let's not forget the SpongeBob level that they
Yeah.
announced during the Switch, the Nintendo Direct as well. I don't know if it's going to be out everywhere, or if it's just Nintendo. I want to assume it's out everywhere, but it looks like they're just like, it's just very nice that when before the Activision the acquisition, like it seemed like the Activision had like no desire to keep this franchise alive, which is weird because it's a very beloved franchise. So it's very nice that it is getting this opportunity to continue this remake train and see the love and dedication that this franchise, I believe, deserves. And I really do hope that it does well when it comes out.
I do too, because I want Tony Hawk Underground remakes. My first one was Tony Hawk Underground 2, and the Pro Skater 2-minute trial just doesn't do it for me. I'm still excited to hop into this, and I know they have a mode now where you can expand that timer, so you can just mess around and like do all this stuff, so you can be able to hop into the 2-minute mode and do all the challenges. So I was like, cool. I just want to be able to skate around, do some tricks, do the stuff. Like that's fun, but I hope this does well enough to warrant more games that are made new, right? That'd be awesome. But yeah, keep going through the catalog of these great Tony Hawk games and remake them and give us a new one.
Yes, please.
Let's see. Does a High on Life 2 do anything for you? I skipped out on that. Not my humor. Kind of, yeah.
I played a little bit of the first one, and it was what you would expect
Mhm.
from like a Rick and Morty humor with like weird, grotesque
Yeah.
things just in general. I am curious to see if the skateboarding is actually like a feature in the game and how well that actually feels, because I wasn't really amazed by High on Life 1's just like feel as far as like movement and
Mhm.
and stuff of that nature. So I am curious, but I'm not. It's like, oh, cool, okay.
That's kind of. It is interesting when you throw in Summer Games Fest too. There's a lot of sequels to games I didn't think we'd get, but I do like that because it's like TV shows. Don't cancel them too soon. Like some games just need another pass, another iteration to build upon that first foundation. But sometimes we just don't get that, or it doesn't get support. So, I'm hoping it does take the right direction and whatever audience it has finds it. But it's just interesting to see a lot of sequels coming out.
It yeah, like I said, when I played it initially, it was my first COVID stint, so I don't remember a lot. But I saw it became like a staple in kind of the PlayStation Trophy Hunter community on YouTube. Like everyone used it as like a fast, easy
Ah,
platinum, like that sort of thing. So it fell kind of in that window for what I've seen, I guess.
okay. I'll tell you one thing I wasn't expecting to see. The not Pow World Amino game.
Amiibos?
Devel- it's It's not a developer I'm very familiar with. I'm trying to read, but yeah, it's just a very Power World looking, not Power World game. That at least from the onlook, it seems like there's nothing in there that would make Nintendo mad at all.
You just gotta look at Nintendo the wrong way and they're coming at you. It doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't. I will say though, it is interesting, the little mechanic they showed off where you actually get to become like the creature and like use it in combat. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that instead of throwing out the ball, you just become it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I'm on their website. I can't find like the thing, but it's the bottom of the website. It's from King Glory Singapore Private Limited. So like Eastern Company, but I don't know what else they have done, if anything. Oh, I found the turn sound on button. Ooh. The website has sound.
It was
Oh.
too. That is another Xbox only one that was in the show. Did not have a PS5 thing at the end.
No, and this later this year it has a beta only for PC. So
Once the game officially released, you'll be able to play on PC, Xbox, and mobile devices with your progress synchronized across all platforms.
this seemed like one of those games that, like, yeah, you can check it daily and you hop on real quick for a little burst and then you're done. Like, if they're doing that, it's like, oh yeah, it's everywhere, and you could take Pokemon on the go too. Because it is
Like
a
Xbox.
free-to-play open world action game. Oh,
It's like Xbox, like, we're tired of waiting. We need our own Genshin Impact with cute animals.
oh, Paw Print Studios. That's the studio. Nope, this is an artist who now. That website was an artist who paints paw prints of your animals.
Hey,
So,
send me that link. I need that
we'll-
actually.
Of course. Interesting. Yeah. No, you called it out. You're like, Jacob, you're like, this kind of looks like some AI game and stuff. Yeah, it does have a
Okay.
little fuzziness to it. And like, is this a way of them testing it and just like seeing like, hey, look what we did with our AI and people don't notice and love it?
It literally, like, if you remember the Game Awards last year, they had the like cat game with just a ton of cats everywhere. There was just nothing but AI. I'm like, this is that exact same thing to me right now.
Hmm.
I'm just glad I wasn't the only one that was looking at some of the gameplay and I was like, this looks like it's just part of the trailer still. It doesn't look real.
Which, I mean, it's you get that nowadays, or you get the team size comment before every trailer that we got at Summer Game Fest on Friday. So, pick your poison.
Well, hey, for a long time, we didn't think Power World was a real game, and then we were corrected. It
Yeah.
was a real game. It became real.
Yeah, it's
So who
crazy that
knows?
Power World, they got hit with that thing that like they can't use the Power Balls anymore, the spheres. You can't use that mechanic of throwing a ball out. And then this game swoops in. It's like, cool, you just become the Pokemon. You just become it. Like Power World's like, damn it. Fascinating that there's this weird trend of creature games just like circling, and then Nintendo's like, get out of here. Like, go.
Like, how many times am I going to teach you this lesson?
That's like,
Everyone's doing the Pokemon thing, and then Game Freak's out doing the Dark Souls thing. They're like, nah, we're gonna do this other big thing right now.
they're like silly. Pokemon games are over. Yeah. Well, it'll be fun to play in Game Pass. It's free. It's free, actually.
It's free.
Yeah.
Free real estate.
A couple to Aphelion coming from
Oh, yeah.
Don't Nod, Life is Strange, and Jusant. That one looked really cool. I played Jusant. I loved what it was. It was a nice, quick little game there. But I like whatever the vibe of this trailer was cool. But I love that it's made in partnership with the European Space Agency. It's like that stuff's cool to me because then like the details and the context of everything that this story will be in is real, and it will pull from real stuff. Like that's awesome to me, and that's just a cool direction for games to move into, kind of like what Hellblade is doing or Ninja Theory is doing with Hellblade and everything. Like keep doing that. Like get more realistic and stuff into the games, but do it properly and get the experts involved in it so they know what's going on too. So really cool. That's what piqued me about it was that little thing.
What's your other one? As you drink your water.
Ooh, sorry. Yeah, I guess I did say another one. Fate's End, the new game from a Spiritfarer as well. I never got around to beating a Spiritfarer, unfortunately. I really should have. But the idea, not the idea, it's the same thing. That idea and the whole premise of that game is really cool, and I enjoy it. So like, I'm excited to see what else they're doing, and this seems a little more up my alley gameplay wise and everything. So I'm excited to see more of this.
Yeah, because I remember when they were showing us Spiritfarer, and I was like, "Oh, this looks like a cute game." I didn't play it. My partner did
Trauma.
though, and they love it. It's like, yeah, the trauma. But what really caught my eye is it feels like they're experimenting with multiple different ways to do combat. Because at first it was like, oh, it looks like it's a card based thing. But then it looks like they're also doing like certain like different movements where it's like you had the little trajectory arrow thing that some games use. And it's like you have to play with trajectory and that kind of thing. But then also there's like dialogue mid fight. You have the dialogue options mid fight. That looks really interesting. So I'm very intrigued to see what more this game has to offer. Especially from people that made a Spiritfarer. Like I'm assuming this game is going to make people cry, 100%.
Like I said, it's nice
Yeah.
because they also did 33 Immortals that just dropped. So it's kind of going back to the Spiritfarer 2D thing instead of the dungeon crawler they did with 33. So kind of branching out to different gameplay styles, I guess.
There's some art element and design element of Immortals in this. Like looking at it, it's like that's interesting. Not a bad thing at all, of course. Same studio, just like Obsidian. But yeah, I like at the end of this little blurb, it explores the complicated bonds between brothers and sisters in a world where swords clash and family wounds run deep. Give us more Expedition 33 family trauma.
I'm just really loving this art style. Like in motion, it looks so nice.
There was a Ubisoft game that came out that kind of Child of Light, kind of similar to back on Xbox One days. This reminds me of.
This Sephiroth looking guy.
Oh, just watching the trailer.
Yeah.
But
I guess last thing for me, I don't really have a lot more to point out. Like the show in general, a lot didn't speak to me personally, but I'm more surprised by the missing information. We got the Persona 4 reveal, but no release date on that. I'm still, where the hell is Contraband? Where the hell is Everwild? Where is just everything else? Perfect Dark, I feel last year a lot of people thought that was a lot further along than it was with the amount of that they showed, and then just to be MIA again. Just more curious than anything going forward. But then I guess this year to me feels more kind of like a catch-up year, which we talked about briefly too last week, Kyle, where Greenberg posts these like temper expectations sort of thing. We set it off last year, like burn the house down, keep expectations in check, which, yeah, for me should have been more of a sign, but
yeah, I'm still in the space where I feel like it's a shame that Rare has to spend their 40th anniversary and all we get is a update to Sea of Thieves, which I thought was really cool. Like Sea of Thieves is getting a brand new faction after so many years this game's been out. Like we're getting a smuggler faction that has a whole new gameplay style. I'm assuming it's going to have a whole bunch of new missions tied to that faction. This recent season that just came out, the Reaper faction that's been around for a few years now, finally got missions for them to do instead of just you roaming the world messing people up all the time. It's a whole new way to play the game, which I think is cool. But still, like you're saying, like it felt like Perfect Dark was in a certain space where we could have seen something this year, even though it's not being made by Rare directly. It's still a Rare property. You know, I know I said that I would not get my hopes up, but like, having something Banjo-Kazooie related would have been really cool.
So
It's
Do you think Bill saying there's a classic game coming next year too?
I think that's
Do you
just
think that could
Halo.
be it for the 20? We do really though?
because
So,
Why not
the
just say it?
specific word was an original Xbox game. That was the wording. It's like a classic Xbox game.
there's
which-
a
And wasn't it on the original Xbox?
Banjo? No. Conquer was.
That was a
Okay.
Conquer Live
that
and
was an-
Reloaded was there.
Banjo
Okay,
was
well
an
then,
N64 game.
Um, There's another piece to this that also I think no. I've seen a couple people talk about it, but I really think there's the rumors of the Nintendo Direct next week. There's a couple people popping off like right after the console comes out, they're going to do a Direct. I could see and tie in with Rare's 40th. They port over Rare Replay on Switch 2 with the Nintendo games that were missing initially. Put Diddy Kong Racing in there, put the Banjo in there, put Conquer in there, and have that as a Switch 2 thing, which I think would be a lot more of a celebration for their 40th. And I would buy
Add
it day
Donkey Kong
one.
64 and add Donkey Kong 64 as well, and I'm down.
Like that's the only thing I'd be like, I could see it not being here, sort of thing, as they're doing that instead. But then you have like the classics already on there. I spent my first day with Switch 2 playing Banjo already. Like, it's there. Don't roll your eyes at me, Kyle.
No, I'm thinking. I'm not. That was not at you. That really was.
Processing.
I'm just thinking like what this classic Xbox title could be because I don't think it's Halo. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be the Halo 1 remake and Unreal 5. but
Fusion
I'm not-
Frenzy coming back.
Yeah, I
They
think
take Fusion Frenzy, put it in the 1 versus 100 IP, and it's just a whole brand new thing.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Xbox Arcade comes back. Like, I don't know.
Maybe.
There's a lot of things they could do with that. I don't want it to be Halo. You could just that could be anywhere. That doesn't need a
I
big
feel
reveal
that.
because guess what? Halo doesn't have that weight anymore. You're just catering to the people who just aren't living in reality. Halo does not have that anymore. You got to prove it. So, yeah, it'd be weird if I guess they have the things they announced were all announced except the Forza, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
he's dropped Forza in there, and that hasn't been.
Which is like, hey, no Horizon 6? Duh, it's coming out next year. I could see Xbox going all out for next year. And that kind of dictates
I
what
hope
we
so.
saw and how we saw everything this year. If they're already highlighting their 25th, like, yeah, I think that is where we get a lot of Xbox first party titles. Is it going to be every month is a big first party title? No, but I do think it's going to be bigger in batches like this year. Problem with this year was the front half was so loaded, and now the back half has stuff, but it's not like it was this year, right? It just felt like there was batches and then a little break and then another batch and then it just kept going. But
you can
this
feel
fall, I'm
it.
like, there's October.
You can feel the emptiness from Fable getting delayed. Like that's what it is, because Fable was supposed to be this fall. You can feel that spot being empty now.
Yeah, you can see how they shifted stuff back and around and such, but it's still the right call to move Fable.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
For the 25th
I-
anniversary of Xbox, having Fable be your title thing, hell yeah. From Playground, crazy.
Like I could see. Like,
Wait, so sorry, confirmed Playground now has 2 games coming out, Horizon and Fable. Is that what he alluded to then?
Yeah, if it's Horizon, yeah. Maybe they'll be
'Cause
doing
I
a
guess it
Obsidian
could
thing.
be. It could be a Forza Motorsport. You're right, but I doubt that. Crazy. That's crazy.
There's kind of only like 2 more games that I would really like to shout out. Going off the vein of talking about Rare, I was a little bit surprised that we didn't see anything Killer Instinct related. But I was surprised that we didn't get that. But Xbox is getting a Invincible 3v3 tag fighter.
Also on PlayStation.
Let's see what for other platforms. Yeah, it's okay. But still, I mean, it's kind of interesting. It was kind of out of left field. Wasn't expecting something from this, especially from Invincible. It seems interesting. It definitely looks like it's going off of like the comic booky style, where it's like akin to like the Spider-Verse, where it's like they're messing around with like the frame rates a little bit, so they have that more kind of comic booky kind of motion to them. I don't know. Hopefully this plays well. I am kind of sad for them because we
Ooh.
did just see the new Marvel fighting game just get announced. So I feel like that's going to be taking over the fighting game community for a while. So this is kind of being brought in under its shadow. But you know, if they can pull it off and make it at least decent, it's another fighting game people to try. So I'm hoping the best for them because I know
Yeah.
Do you want me to
this is kind
excite
of
you?
like out of. Oh, go for it.
So
Please.
we were talking before when you guys were finishing up earlier. Maximilian dude tweeted out that he's super excited to be able to talk about the Invincible fighting game finally. So I was like, oh, is he working on this type thing? Update:
Oh,
the Steam page is up. It is being developed by a newly formed studio, Quarter Up at Skybound, led by former members of the core 2013 Killer Instinct dev team.
That's why there's no Killer Instinct.
That's why there's no Killer Instinct, because they're out doing this. So this is the KI team.
interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is their
Okay.
first in-house gaming development studio. So Skybound brought a studio together to build this game,
Yeah.
a 3v3 fighting thing. So
They literally was like, hey, if Xbox isn't going to use you, we will.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
playable.
actually,
Max has
we're not
played it.
that.
Sonic Fox played it at Combo Breaker. Like, it's been playable, and it's yeah.
Okay, that's good news. That's really good news. I am way more optimistic now. That is fantastic. Well, cool.
Well, now I have a question. Does the Invincible IP make this something that is like, yeah, or is it? I mean, if it's good, it's solid, cool. Is it something though that we think is going to be like?
I think
I don't know the right word here,
Invincible-
right?
Big
I
enough.
think the Invincible fan base is of decent size, especially after the series on Amazon has been doing pretty good, and they definitely have a lot of characters with variety that they could do. That's the thing with tag fighters like this. You
Right.
need a roster that has variety, and I feel like Invincible can be that. It just all depends on how they implement it. Like they have to have a good size roster when this game comes out to be worth something, because that's the issue with 2XKO right now, is that they're trying to be a tag fighter, but their roster isn't there yet. They have not been showing that their roster is going to be of a size for that. And but hey, if these are Killer Instinct devs, this game's in good hands. I have complete faith in them that it's going to be fun, at least. I'm hoping, it says it's launching 2026. I'm hoping that we might get an announcement of maybe like an online beta wintertime. Maybe.
I think that could be a Save
least get-
Game Awards announcement. I feel new trailer,
That's-
new
that sounds
characters,
safe.
beta now.
That sounds safe. But yeah, no, that is good info to have. That is very, very good info. Cool.
Yeah.
And just the second one I wanted to bring up just a little bit. It's just a little thing I thought was interesting. Mudang Two Hearts. Very interesting looking. I'm not entirely sure what it actually is. I was saying on my stream, it looks like Tom Clancy but with demons.
Yeah, it does.
But it looks like they're like going for like a multiple character story, kind of like first person shooter, but also like a little bit of like a maybe kind of like a little bit of like a sneaking spy kind of thing, whereas you're gonna have multiple characters that have different play styles, and you're gonna be able to mix around with that. I don't know.
You got that
They didn't
pretty
show
right
much.
on.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, they
They
say it's a third-person tactical action adventure on the Korean Peninsula after reunification. It blends stealth, close quarters combat, and an emotionally driven storytelling in a cinematic experience. So yeah, I like that tactical action stuff. Like It seems like you hit it on the head there.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I want to see more of it, but I am intrigued. That's good.
Oh, the two people is a North Korean Special Forces operative dispatched to the south, and Gavi, a K-pop idol whose past holds a dangerous secret.
Wonderful.
I think my first takeaway from it was like reading the captions and everything and what the dialogue and what they're saying. I was like, huh, this is real poignant. This is some real poignant stuff right now, especially being in LA right now, even though nothing is actually going on. Anyways, but yeah, excited to see more. I am playing the Division 2 right now, off and on, and like that third person tactical, I'm like, oh, I'm itching for that. So if this kind of follows that, like it could be something up my alley for sure right now.
100%. As long as it has that, it feels good. I think that's the make or break for this kind of style of gameplay. Is like it has to feel good, and I don't know if this is the studio's first game. I'm not familiar with the studio at all. 2026 is still kind of a ways away, so we'll just kind of have to wait and see. Hopefully, we see some more of it, maybe at Video Game Awards, or if they plan on start demoing this out at some point to the PAX or other like show floor expos.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of that next graphical showcase game that always shows up everywhere. Like every showcase has a new trailer for it.
Yeah, I'm on their website. It just has stuff for the game itself. So it might be their first game, but they do have a dev series on their YouTube channel. So they're going to be posting, I don't know, that's the trailer. Oh, yeah. They got facial audio, light sphere, facial capture. Oh, they have a ton of tech demos and stuff on this game. Wow. Tons of stuff. So it might be their first game. I can't find anything about any other game for them. But yeah, they're doing it and also showing what they're doing on their YouTube. So that's fascinating.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, and then seeing more of the story, I'm like, it seems like they have a narrative thing. I mean, just the premise alone being set after the reunification of the Korean peninsula, like that's a heavy thing right there. And they're not hiding from that. You're playing a special forces operative and then just a K-pop star, like interesting. So reading all this piqued my interest even more for it. Yeah, cool. We didn't talk much about Ninja Gaiden 4, unless people have more about Mudang. Isn't Mudang
the hippo? I was gonna say, I was like, they're banking on the name in Google searches.
Oh man, they hit that SEO, baby.
It's spelled differently, but yeah.
That's so funny. I said it, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, we didn't talk much about Ninja Gaiden 4. I hopped into Black. Is that the one that Shadow dropped?
Yeah.
Camera was wonky, so yeah, camera just was a wonky to me gameplay. I was like, I can wait for 4. But where are you, Brian? I know, Jacob, you said, you probably won't jump into this.
I mean, from what I saw today, it looked pretty interesting. On my notes, I put cool blood weapons? Question mark. So I am intrigued to see how this feels. I have gone on record to saying that I am very weird when it comes to like my action games. I'm not so much into like the Souls-like combat as much, and I know Ninja Gaiden is known for like their very tough combat, but I'm waiting to see where it kind of toes the line as far as like, is it more of a Souls-like this time around, or is it still going to be just like the heavy like action intense combat that Ninja Gaiden has been doing for a long time?
Yeah.
But I am intrigued. I would like to see more. I'm hoping that at some point. Well, actually, no, it comes out in October, so it's pretty close comparatively. So I'm intrigued. I would like to jump in and give it a shot.
October 21st.
And they did say it is coming out on Game Pass too, right?
Yeah, because it's a Microsoft publish. Yeah. They're publishing it.
Perfect. Awesome. So yeah, I would definitely be jumping into it, just testing it out. Oh yeah, because especially it's Platinum Games. Of course. Oh yeah. Platinum Games. So yeah, I'm definitely trying this out. I know out of recent years, Platinum Games has kind of had a hit or miss, but I still stand by like Metal Gear Rising as one of my favorite, hack and slash action games of all time. And I know they had a purge of a lot of their devs that went back to Capcom to make Clovers. So it'll be interesting to see what the remainder of Platinum Games can do, and if um, it's worth it. I think a few people have said this for a while, but I think Platinum Games does very well when they don't have to worry about the story and they can just focus only on the gameplay. And that's what we're getting here. Like Team Ninja's all worried about the story for Ninja Gaiden, and like Platinum Games only works on the gameplay. That we could see something really good here. So I am definitely invested in trying it out when it comes out for sure.
Yeah.
With
Well,
that,
I think that.
yeah, that pretty much wraps up
Yeah.
most of the things to talk about for this year's showcase.
Mm-hmm.
Solid show. I know out of the three of us, I'm
Yeah.
probably the lowest out of everyone. I'd even out of the past 4 or 5 showcases they've done this style, I would put this at the lower end of them, but that's just personal preference. A lot of
Sure.
stuff not for me. It's bound to happen. Not everyone could be a banger.
Yeah, I'd agree though. It's the lower end because the big surprise is Call of Duty 7, which we all knew a Call of Duty most likely is coming. So again, in hindsight, it's like, oh, all right. So very, very solid. But I agree. Yeah, they did not blow anything out of the water. But I don't think there's really much to complain about either. So,
Yeah, like there was a lot of announcements. They weren't like big like last year, but I feel like it's nice to see that Xbox now has things. It has stuff. It might not be big stuff, but it's stuff that I feel like is a widespread variety, which I think was one of my complaints about the SGF showcase on Friday, was that a lot of things felt very similar and the same. It was a lot of like, dingy body horror, style games, which is, the craze now, I guess. But like, it's nice to see that Xbox has a wide swath of just stuff
yeah.
for people to play.
And I do think that's part of their strategy is like showing off not just all the big stuff we have. It's like, let's get a breadth of stuff. And it's like, they're going to err to not showing things, I feel, because they don't have to, which leads to something like this where you're like, oh, this is solid, but it's like, it's not. We know you have stuff. Show us the stuff. We're all like, show us the thing. And they're like, yeah, we don't. You guys will complain if we show you right now. So we're going to show you the stuff that's ready to show. So definitely a low year as a whole, right? It seems for Summer Game, just this E3 time, no crazy huge thing. But again, we just got a Switch 2. So maybe that is kind of the new console launch. They're like, whatever.
You know what? After back-to-back years of like banger video game years, I'm okay with having a lower octane one, especially now that Grand Theft Auto's moved to next year. Like, I'm cool just having like a chill, let me have time with one game and not worry about the next one's coming up really, really soon. So that's just me though.
Yep. We'll go through the backlogs finally. Not. But yeah. Well, good time. It's always great to have you join us for the second time.
Yeah, second time. Welcome back, whatever. Honestly, it's been good discussion both times so far. We may not have nailed the predictions, but still good.
That's fine. But no, yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been fun the past 2 times, and I really, really hope that we can do more of this in the future, for sure.
It's all growth up from here, baby.
Yay!
With that, send us off here for episode 71 of the Download Queue. Again, Brian Saber, United We Nerd, all the places. Check them out. I believe you guys are streaming Tuesday next, correctly? I caught at the end of your stream.
Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific.
There you go. Kyle, always a pleasure. We gotta still plan out another stream here this week because I still want to talk Switch 2 with you.
Oh yeah, we still got a lot of coverage because I got to talk Switch 2 stuff, IGN Live. I beat Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
I met Jennifer English very, very quickly. It's a lot of stuff to talk about. But I'm still streaming every day, so we're 8 days in a row now. So I'm gonna try to do all every day in June, just for fun, and I think I could do it. So last night I was tired. That was rough, but I did it. We did it. it was a loopy stream of me just running around the free roam in Mario Kart World, just like I don't know what I was doing.
I'm getting these peach
But yeah.
coins for reasons unknown.
Exactly. I didn't even find any peach coins. But yeah, so we'll be doing that throughout this next week. So yeah, definitely we'll plan stuff. If you got Mario Kart World, come on through. We got to do. There was a game, Brian, that I sold my PlayStation 5. We can't play Helldivers. I'm so sorry.
Oh wow. Oh no.
That's how I got my. Yeah, I traded everything in and got my Switch for $20.
He went
so
all in.
cannot complain.
Hey, you know what? That's completely fair. Like
Yeah,
I
I'll
am
buy it.
all in for the bargain.
Yeah, and I'm gonna buy it on Steam when my PC can actually run it. So one of those things.
We'll get
But
there.
yeah. I remember like, oh, it was Helldivers. I was about to say we should play Helldivers.
Oh no.
Oh,
My
As,
PlayStation.
as soon as the transaction finished. Oh no.
oh no. Yep.
Don't even mention
yeah, so-
transactions. My Switch didn't get charged till yesterday. It's been days. I'm like, I got a free
Oh.
Switch out of this. Finally hit yesterday. I was sad. I was like, I beat the system.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah.
Thank you as
Anyways.
always. Download Q live tomorrow. YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the places. Thank you again so much for joining us. Till next time, be safe. Happy gaming.